Okay, welcome to my home office. This is my wardrobe tour of winter of 2025. And the reason I'm doing this is that I feel that I've come to a point in my menswear journey that it's time to stop and not buy anything for the entire year of 2026. So as a kind of inventory, kind of record of what I've accumulated over the last 3 years or so, I thought I'd shoot this video and just kind of go through the pieces, and maybe somebody might benefit from looking at all this stuff. It's mostly a benefit to me. It's been kind of an interesting journey along the way, little stories about this or that item, and yeah, let this be a record for the future. Very low budget video, no bells and whistles, just the clothes. Okay, so I'm going to go through all my items kind of from top to bottom. I'm going to start with the outerwear, then move on to suits and sport coats, go into vests or waistcoats and knitwear, then shirts and accessories, ties, pocket squares, then move into trousers, and then finally socks and shoes. And hopefully this doesn't take too long. I've assembled everything in this office here, which itself took quite a long time. It's quite strange to be surrounded by all these clothes. I feel a little bit claustrophobic, to be honest. So maybe another reason to take a little break. Okay, so we'll start with outerwear here that I've assembled on the rack. This is my main overcoat, single-breasted. It's in kind of a tweed, kind of charcoal fabric. It's got kind of blue and green in the weave. Pretty easy to combine with things. Bought this on eBay, one of my first eBay purchases a couple of years ago. Don't wear it too often in warm California, but it does occasionally get chilly, and it's very nice to kind of loaf around in, as it were. Moving on here, we have the classic camel trench coat, double-breasted. Got this for $15 a couple of weeks ago, actually, at a thrift store. One of my favorite finds. Pretty sure it's cotton. I think it was made in Korea. The brand says Austin Manor. Has a nice kind of fuzzy lining. Nice for when it rains, which it does very occasionally here. And moving on, we have the classic Barber. I believe this is the Bristol model, Barber Bristol. Bought this on eBay and actually just had it re-waxed, and looking forward to wearing it when it rains. Got the classic corduroy collar, green color, nice for layering over sport coats and so on. Moving on, the fourth item, moving into the more casual realm, after the Barber, of course, we have the classic duffel coat. And this I've actually had for a very long time. My wife and I bought duffel coats back in 2017, I think, when we were living in Minnesota, which is very useful. And I've always had kind of an eye for duffel coats, I think maybe influenced by Paddington Bear. So I've hung on to this for a long time, and now I actually know how to wear it and style it, so that's very nice. And then the last item here in outerwear is this kind of vest from J. Crew that I believe was a Christmas present for my wife last year. Nice for more casual settings where you want to be able to take off layers. Very easy to combine, blue and so on. Okay, so that's the outerwear, and I'll move all of this off so we can move on to suits. Question of where to put it. I guess I'll just drape it on the floor. Okay, so moving into suits here, I'm going to assemble all these still in their garment bags, which is typically how I like to keep them, because I only wear a suit maybe once or twice a week, certainly on a Sunday. So I like to just keep them in the bags to keep them safe from moths and so on. So this is my fall-winter suit collection. And a range of different things, mostly grays, one brown, a navy, and a dinner jacket. I'll just kind of pull off randomly here. This is a gray flannel three-piece suit. This was a Indochino acquisition that I got rather early in my menswear journey. Doesn't quite fit the way I'd like to. It's a little on the slim side, but the waistcoat kind of helps, and I still wear it. I like it. It's kind of the classic gray flannel suit. And I believe I did my U.S. naturalization interview in this suit, so it has some sentimental value. I was trying to look like Cary Grant or something like that. Next on the rack here, find out this is a double-breasted, kind of an 80s, 90s suit. It's got very strong shoulders, which is an interesting look. This was a thrift store find. It's got kind of a subtle blue blue and red stripe pattern in it. It fit reasonably well, so I thought, why not? I could probably pay $15 from it. It actually fit perfectly off the peg, so no alterations were needed. Moving along, this is a Spear and Mackay suit. I really like that company, and this is the only suit I have in so far, and I've only worn it once or twice. Got it recently. It's a gray kind of herringbone weave. It's cut in a classic kind of Italian style, with the spalla camicia, or however you say that, with a soft shoulder, and the trousers are cut rather high. Quite like it. It's kind of a neutral piece. Nice for more formal occasions when you don't want to stand out too much. So those are 3 of the grays. I think I've got one more gray in here, and this is my tweed, Donegal tweed 3-piece suit that came from Walker Slater, and this suit is quite special to me for a number of reasons. One being that I bought it after I finished my most recent book, Conservatism, Past and Present. It's kind of a present to myself. And then that also happened to be the year that I was coming into the Catholic Church, and I wore this at my baptism on the Easter Vigil. Kind of a funny story about it. I decided to wear the jacket as a sport coat out to dinner one night before the big event, and my oldest Aurelia managed to spill wine at the table, and some of it splashed on the lapel, and I just totally lost it. It was not a good moment, but it did teach me something that, clothes are not the most important thing, and imperfection is okay. And fortunately, I happened to get the stain out, and you don't even notice that it's there, but that was a nice little lesson. Next here we have a brown 3-piece suit. This was an eBay acquisition, kind of an older style. I think it's a rope stripe. After I bought this suit, I started getting into more kind of vintage cuts. It has a nice full cut, and it actually belonged to I think an economics professor in some university in Connecticut. There was a business card in the pocket, and that was kind of interesting to find. I think he's since passed on, unfortunately, but the fella had good style. Okay, just 2 more here on the suit rack. What's this one? This is my navy suit for the winter, and it's also a rope stripe. I think it might have been made bespoke, but I bought it on eBay. It's made by a maker called Sebastian Gray Clothiers. It's got a nice fabric. It's got a Laurel piano fabric. The cut is a little bit slim for my taste, but I had some alterations done, and it fits reasonably well now. I'm probably gonna hang on to it. I have one more navy suit, a plain one that I got recently. That's at the alterations tailor right now. As we move through the journey, you get rid of kind of the basic things, and I had charcoal and navy suits that were just a little too slim. I have to move on from them. I think this is the last one. Yeah, this is the last one. This is one of my prized possessions, certainly, that I got last year. It's a vintage double-breasted midnight blue dinner suit that I found on eBay last year. I've only had one occasion to wear it, but I hope to wear it again this year. It's got a really kind of full cut, 1930s cut. So it's coming up on, I don't know, 80 or 90 years old. It's incredible. Still in really good condition. No moth holes or anything. Yep, so that's the suit collection. Mostly grays, a navy suit, and a brown suit. So let's see, move all these off, and we'll move on to the sport coats, which I have garment bags for, but because I wear them pretty often, almost every day, I like to keep them out of the garment bag so that I can see them in the closet. Makes it a lot easier to decide what I want to wear. So I'll move these on here. Probably I could do this video with cuts, but it's going to be on my pay grade. I hope this thing doesn't fall over. The tweed coats are very heavy. Okay, so here's the winter sport coat collection. It's kind of weighted toward tweeds and then 2 more formal garments. I guess I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, plus the one I'm wearing, 5 tweeds and 2 more kind of blazer kind of things. I'll just, maybe I'll start with the one that I'm wearing. This is a brown herringbone Harris tweed. What side is it? It's on that side. Harris tweed jacket that I bought on eBay kind of before I started my menswear journey. This was back in 2019 or something like that. I've always loved tweed jackets for their association with the academy and so on. And this is one that I bought just to, I don't know, I wanted to have one after I was through graduate school, and this one fit reasonably well, and it's one of my favorites now. Very lived in. Moving on, this is another kind of brown, I think this is kind of a ginger pattern. This is a more recent acquisition. Nice full cut. I actually found this in a thrift store, incredibly, or at Goodwill. I think I might have paid $10 for it, something like that. It needed a couple of alterations, but I think it turned out reasonably good, or reasonably well, I should say. This one has a bit of a more fuller fit than this one, so it's very easy to layer sweaters and vests and things underneath, which I almost always do in the winter because there are so few opportunities otherwise. Moving along, this is one of my favorites. This was a eBay acquisition that needed some alterations and really kind of got me started on the buying used and then altering things. This is a classic, I think it's called a hacking jacket, which is to say a jacket that you ride when you're riding a horse. It's got this slanted pockets so the things don't fall out, little ticket pocket. And this is made by a famous Savile Row firm, Davies and Sons. You can see in the pocket, you won't be able to see it on camera. It's got a very bold kind of houndstooth overcheck, little flecks of green and red. I like wearing it at Christmas. Quite bold lapels. Probably, I think it was made in the 70s, so that explains that. Nice fit. It's got the working cuffs and so on. Didn't wear that too much last year, but try to wear it a little more this year. You know, you get confidence as the year go by. Here's a navy herringbone. Almost all my tweeds are herringbone for one reason or another. This is quite a special jacket to me. I bought this in 2020 during COVID, during the lockdown, and I wanted to sort of treat myself for my birthday, I think it was, and I wanted to get a new tweed jacket, and I actually bought this from the Harris Tweed manufacturer at the time, and the fit was pretty good. It's cut on a little bit of the slim side. The lapels are a little narrower than I would like, but it still fits pretty well, and I like wearing it, and I can't bear to replace it at this point. Nice kind of more formal evening tweed jacket, if you like. Moving along, we have the classic gray herringbone. This was another Goodwill acquisition in the last year that I just couldn't pass up because it fit reasonably well with minimal alterations. There's a couple like little holes or snags in the fabric that I kind of just happy to live with at this point, even though I could probably pay some money to have somebody reweave it, but that's okay. I think the tweed jacket should be lived in, and this is certainly a classic. There are pictures of my late father wearing a tweed jacket rather like this, and so I didn't end up with his, but I managed to get this one, which is pretty close. Okay, so that's it for the tweed jackets. Moving on to the blazer here. This is a double-breasted classic sort of blazer. What do you call this? I think this is a 6-on-1 because it buttons at the bottom. You can kind of button this one too, but it's a little bit tight, and since the jigger button is on the bottom, I figured probably it should only be buttoned at the bottom. And this is from the maker Paul Stewart. Quite fond of this one. Fits a little bit tight in the shoulders, but it has a nice long length. And yeah, I put this one away in the spring and the summer just to kind of change things up. I think the fabric is called serge or something like that. One of my favorites for more formal occasions. And then finally, rounding out the sport coat collection, this is another Paul Stewart camel hair blazer. I find that if an item is classic, I have a desire to find one, and this is one that I found last year. It's very warm, very soft fabric. No holes in it, at least yet. I don't wear this as much as I should, perhaps, mostly because it's very warm, and usually during the day I'll reach for the tweed jackets before I reach for this, but it's certainly more elegant, I would say, than a tweed jacket. Okay, so that's the sport coat collection. Two kind of more formal garments, if you like, the blazer and the camel hair jacket, and then a litany of tweed jackets. I don't think I'm really missing anything. I don't really have a window pane jacket or anything like that, and maybe something in a slightly lighter fabric than a tweed would be nice, but for now I think I'm pretty much set. Okay, what's on the agenda next? Waistcoats, or vests. I like to call them waistcoats. That's the British term, but it means the same thing. Just kind of a small collection here. I guess I'll just hang them in reverse order here. Pick them up. This is my most recent one. This is a linen double-breasted waistcoat from Walker Slater. I bought this because I thought I would wear it in the winter, but actually the linen fabric is more of a summer fabric, even though in the summer it's usually too warm to wear a waistcoat, but this is kind of a classic sort of, I don't know, Great Gatsby look or something. What do they call it? I think they call it the, here's the label going. Can't find it. The Chat collection, they call it. So it's going for that sort of vintage look. And there's a guy on YouTube, Chris Mudu, who does videos for Rampling that always wears double-breasted waistcoats. That's kind of how I got into them. Here's a very bold, this is called Hunt Red, I believe. I bought this on eBay, and initially I had no idea how to wear it because it's so bold. I thought, oh, I'll just wear it at Christmas and that'll be it. And that's kind of what I did last year. I think I wore it once on Chinese New Year, but this year I've kind of learned that, oh, you can actually wear this under odd jackets, and if you button it, it doesn't look too bold. It goes nice with grays and browns and stuff. And so I've been wearing this a little more. Always catches the eye. Moving on, two more tweed ones. These are both from Walker Slater. I really like that maker for tweed, and especially for waistcoats. And I think I got both of these on sale last year. This one has lapels, kind of interesting. I think the color is Lovat. It's got these little sort of yellow checks and maybe even some purple in there. And then this one has no lapels, and this one I really like. It's a oatmeal. It's got little flecks of orange and blue in it. I wear these quite a lot. This one I'll wear with sort of a darker jacket, and then this one kind of goes with lighter jackets, generally speaking. Very versatile. And then the last one here, another gift from my lovely wife. This is a J. Crew waistcoat, and I think I got this. This was before my menswear journey, certainly. I would wear waistcoats and stuff, but I didn't really know how to style them. And fortunately, I hung on to this and I didn't give it away, and so now I know how to wear it, and it's pretty useful, pretty versatile. I think the cloth is made by Abraham Moon, something like that. And it's got some cotton in it. It's not 100% wool, but you couldn't really tell to touch it. So that's the waistcoat collection. I'll send these off into the outer darkness. Next on the agenda, after I take a sip of water, is knitwear. Oh, I guess we're about halfway through at this point, so if you made it this far, well done. Okay, the knitwear I've put on the bed here, I'll just take kind of a handful of pieces at a time, maybe go a little more quickly. I've kind of rounded out the knitwear collection, I would say, in the last year and a half. Kind of got into it last year. It's nice when you want a kind of more casual outfit in the cold. Or if you just, come home from work and you want to take the jacket off and put the sweater on, sort of Mr. Rogers style. This is a cardigan sweater. I had an Argyle cream. Just got this recently. I think it's Shetland wool. It's a little too thick to wear under a sport coat, but it goes well on its own with a tie. This is a cream roll neck from Uniqlo or something. I bought that for a Christmas picture. Haven't really worn it much since. This is a V-neck, what is this? Lamb's wool sweater from Alan Payne, which I think is a famous British knitwear maker. I found this at a thrift store in town. Nice for layering under tweed jackets and things like that. Moving on, more layering pieces. This is an Argyle cotton vest I got from Macy's recently. Didn't pay very much money for it. It's already kind of starting to come apart, which I'm not happy about, but that's okay. I think I paid $20 for it. Something like that. And then the final few pieces here. This has become one of my favorites more recently. It's kind of a hunting vest made out of wool. I think the color is called goldenrod yellow, something like that. It's very bold, rather like the red vest. I wasn't really sure how to wear this initially, but I've kind of figured it out this year. And then a couple of simple sweaters, dark forest green crew neck, and a what's this? This is a V-neck, a very thin V-neck that you can layer under a suit or a sport coat or whatever in burgundy. A little easier to combine than the Hunt Red, a little less bold. So that's the knitwear. There's just two more pieces here. There's a quarter zip. Of course, that's very trendy now. I think they got this at a thrift store, J. Crew, cotton. And then this is another one of my oldest pieces, another gift from the wife. This is a Brooks Brothers quarter zip that I've had for, I guess, a decade now. And I actually wore this in our engagement photos. It's held up pretty well. You can layer it under things if you want, but wear it casually. Okay, that's the knitwear. What's next on the agenda? Shirts. Okay, so I've got the shirts on the desk here, so I'll try to pick these up and stick them on the rack here. So the shirts, I basically divide, this is going to be in the wrong order, start with the whites. I basically divide between a dress, you know, kind of a more formal dress shirt, and then a more casual button-down shirt, and that pretty much services all the needs that I have, which are basically the formal dress shirt if I'm wearing a suit, and the more casual button-down if I'm wearing a odd jacket trouser combination. So I think I've got about 15 here, and this is sort of my winter shirt collection. First one, tuxedo shirt, wear it maybe once a year. I think I bought this for my wedding. Haven't had reason to replace it. It's got the holes for the studs and so on. Just kind of move through these more quickly. You got your white, the classic white. This was a made-to-measure Indochino. I've had this for a while. Kind of embarrassingly got a monogram on the sleeve, which I now think is a little bit in poor taste, but you can see that there. You can't really see it when you have a jacket on, so I still wear it. And then this one I really like is an ivory, kind of off-white white shirt, which is nice for wearing in the winter. All of my dress shirts, more formal shirts, are bought from the maker Charles Tirrett, which has very nice deals on shirts, and I kind of got into those shirts very early on, and then of course the price is so good that I just couldn't help but buy more of them. So I think I only paid maybe $30 for most of these shirts. And so here's a classic blue one. I like the spread collar. I don't know, my style is kind of a mix of the American and the English or the British, and so the spread collar is kind of a British look. Bengal stripe, kind of a mint green, lavender, which I like to wear during Lent, and a pink. So pretty typical, nothing too flashy. I guess I only have one striped shirt. I don't really do checks in formal shirts. Now here are the OCBDs. Now all of these are made by Spear & Mackay, which again is a very affordable shirt maker. A lot of them are cut maybe a little slimmer than I would like now, but I am rather slim, and so I can't help to replace them, and they fit reasonably well. So this is a classic white one. Here's the one exception. This is a Brooks Brothers one that I found at my alterations tailor in his shop, and I really like the way this one fits, and I had to have it taken in a little bit. It was really quite baggy, even for OCBD standards. So that's kind of the outlier, and maybe one of my favorites just because of the way it fits. You get your classic light blue, your university stripe, kind of a cream yellow, something like that. It's more yellow, I guess, than cream. I like to wear this with tweeds. Goes a little better than whites. And then my most recent acquisitions, I guess these were kind of Christmas shirts. I had kind of a green and a burgundy shirt that I wanted to replace because I didn't like the collar so much, and I found these on sale, kind of wide stripe. Pretty fun to combine for Christmas. And I suppose you could wear them year round really if you wanted to. So that's the shirt collection. Move all these off onto the desk. What's coming up next? Ties and pocket squares. Okay, now this collection is really quite a large one, and most of the ties I've gotten at thrift stores and Goodwill, and so I don't feel like I've actually spent that much money on them, really. You can get nice, beautiful ties for $150, $200 now online, which seems absurd. I don't know the best way to do this here. I don't want to move the camera, so I'll just pick up a few, I guess. So the more formal ones that I like are these kind of sort of repeating patterns, paisleys, that kind of thing. So your burgundies, your navies. That one, pretty nice. I kind of divide them up in this manner. And then in the winter, I really like to wear wool challis ties, which I've amassed a little collection. These ones are really hard to find in thrift stores, so these ones I think I bought on eBay and probably paid a little more than I would have, and I found them in the wild, so to speak. So that's kind of the second category for winter ties. And then the third category I like are the classic rep tie, American style. Well, I guess they're not American style, they're British originally, but American style. This one's a Brooks Brothers, these two are Brooks Brothers. Actually, they're all Brooks Brothers. This is a Christmassy one that I kind of like. I have a few more here, but I don't really want to pick all of them up. And then your solids, I don't actually have that many solid ties. Knit ties and so on. I'll just grab a few here. These are your grenadine silk. I think I bought these from Tie Bar. Very inexpensive. I don't think they're the best grenadine silk, but they'll do for purposes. It's kind of a bold knit tie. Can't remember where I got this, maybe eBay. This is one of my favorite, more recent acquisitions that I actually did pay a little bit of money for. It's a knit tie in orange and blue that I bought when the family was visiting Victoria, and it has a great menswear store there. And I kind of just bought it as a souvenir, even though I wouldn't usually spend that much money on a tie. Oh, the label has fallen off, so I can't actually tell you who the maker is. That's the tie collection. Bow ties I can show you very easily because I have them on a rack here, and I'm actually rather fond of bow ties. I've amassed quite a few over the years. You got your classic black bow ties, your kind of subtle Prince of Wales check, your kind of heavier silk Prince of Wales, kind of like this one. Different things. Some of these are Brooks Brothers. Actually, a lot of them are. These are always nice to wear. This is a favorite that I bought recently. A wool chalet tie. This is from Fort Belvedere, which is one of my favorite makers. Paid a little bit of money for this one. It's hard to find. Certain fabrics are very hard to find in the thrift stores, as I mentioned earlier. So those are the ties and the bow ties. I have some kind of off storage. These are just sort of ties that I rotate in every once in a while. The winter ties are a lot more plentiful than the summer ties, so I like to keep a rotation without taking up too much space. Okay, moving on to the pocket squares now. I think these should be reasonably easy to show you. I'm in a nice little tray here. Pick up a few of them. These are my favorite ones. These are the wool silk. Also this one, the burgundy. Very nice to wear with tweeds. A few regular silks, blue silks. I find I don't actually wear pure silk pocket squares that much. I'm not sure why. I bought a bunch of them and I didn't end up wearing them, especially these ones, these kind of shiny plain ones. And these are some that I bought on eBay a little while ago. I also don't really wear these very much. I think this is a madder silk. Quite nice patterns and stuff, but I don't know. I don't find myself reaching for them that often. Over here are the linens. These are mostly for summer, but I occasionally wear them in the winter as well. That's your yellows, your pinks, your blues, and then the classic ubiquitous white pocket square. White linen square, of course, I wear that quite a lot. On to the more nice pocket squares. These are kind of some of my prized possessions. These are from Rampling & Co. which occasionally would treat myself to. These are these sort of printed silk ones, and I have a number of cool ones. This is the George Washington crossing the Delaware, and the School of Athens. There's some philosophers. I rather like that one. I have to say I don't wear these very much either. It's kind of a shame. They should really just be on the wall in a frame. They're nice with suits. They have different colors in them and so on. Sometimes I'll wear them to church. This was a particularly good one for church. This is St. Michael crushing a demon. The edge is very nice to wear. And then the last one, this one's very special to me. Rampling will actually make a pocket square for you. They'll commission it. And actually it wasn't that expensive. Not that much more than the actual product. And when I was coming into the church, I took St. Augustine as my confirmation saint, and so I had to make a square in that kind of classic portrait. Again, don't wear this that much, but it's very nice. Pass on to my kids someday. Okay, so those are the pocket squares. What have I got next? Up next are trousers, and I'm going to take my jacket off because it's getting rather hot in here. This is my valet stand that I got recently from a thrift store. A little bit of work into refinishing. I'm not very handy, but this was a job that I could sort of do. So it's nice for laying out clothes for the next day or whatever. Okay, on to trousers. It's got mixed between, it's mostly corduroys, and then some more sort of tailored options. Some little thing in the fabric there. It's okay. So I'll start with the more tailored options. This is a Prince of Wales check trouser that I think belonged to a suit that I found in a Goodwill. I find it's great to get pants at Goodwill because you can find old vintage stuff, and usually it's pretty easy to get them to fit. You can take the waist in a little bit, and if they're too long, often you can have them hemmed. So I like these. I wish I had the jacket because I like the fabric a lot. But those are nice. Wear those with a blazer, something like that. Two more. These are brown wool. Another thrift store find. I've started putting cuffs in my trousers. It's a more recent development. as, as with most of the fashions, almost nobody wears cuffs anymore, but as you get sort of deeper into the menswear world, you find you rather like cuffs. This is our favorite recent acquisition, wool flannel, kind of a darker gray wool flannel. It's got 3 pleats, which is kind of unusual. And this is a replacement of another pair that was badly damaged. And then I have a light gray flannel too, but they're at the tailor at the moment getting their cuffs put in. And your classic khakis. I don't wear these very much in the winter because I usually go for cords rather than khakis, but I think these are a thrift store acquisition from, yeah, it's more recent, Brooks Brothers. It's kind of a, I don't know, the fabric is kind of weird. I don't know if it says 100% cotton, but I think there might be some spandex in it maybe. Oh, here's the bold holiday trousers that I've had occasion to wear at least once so far this season. I found these in the summer in a thrift store, and they're priced a little higher than usual in a thrift store. I think they kind of knew what they had, 100% wool, and I couldn't help but buy them and think, I'll wear these in the winter and at Christmas time, and they're pretty fun. Get a lot of attention from those. Now into the cords. There's a green pair that I'm wearing here, and then I have a few others. The first cords that I bought, I'll maybe start with those. One of them that I'm wearing, the dark green cords, I bought these from a fashion brand called COS, I think 2 winters ago. And this is when I was just starting to get into more classic cut pants. I was wearing a lot of slim fit stuff, and I bought these and I thought, oh wow, these are different, you know. They're cut like a little bit higher. They're tapered in the leg, so the leg opening is a little narrower than I would otherwise like, but they're very comfortable at the waist, and I don't even have to wear a belt with them, and they pretty much stay up, and they come in nice colors. And I don't know if the quality is top notch, but they've held up pretty well. And so I figure once I wear these out, which I almost certainly will, I'll replace them with some nicer stuff maybe. So those are the kind of muted colors. I have some bold things. This yellow, this is a Polo Ralph Lauren that I bought on eBay. I don't wear these very much. Maybe I shouldn't wear them that much. I don't know, they're bold. My wife hates them, but they're fun to wear in the winter when things are cold and dark. A couple more here. There's a cream pair that I bought recently. These are Brooks Brothers. Nice to wear lighter colors in the winter. And then this is maybe my favorite pair. These are from Land's End, and they're cut very generously. And I kind of roll up the cuff at the bottom, create some extra weight. And I love the color, of course. So if I could have my way, I'd have all of my cords in this kind of style, but that's not really how the old wardrobe develops. And then this is my most recent pair, and there's a kind of a funny story that goes with this. We were at Nordstrom Rack recently, and I was browsing the menswear section, didn't really find anything, certainly not corduroys. And then my family was in the kids section, and I found this on one of the kids racks, and they're actually boys, like size 20, and I looked at them, I thought, I think those would fit me. They're cut like reasonably wide, they have pleats at the top, and they fit perfectly, so I bought them. And so now I know that I can fit into size 20 Polo Ralph Lauren cords, and they were at quite a discount as well. Pay a little less for children's clothes. That was a nice find. So that's the trouser collection. I'm gonna move now on to socks and shoes. The socks are pretty boring. I'll just hold up these, I guess. Kind of a mix of things. Got your blues, your charcoals, your browns, some subtle patterns. I really like this shadow stripe pattern. This is maybe one of my favorite pairs, the burgundy with the little blue stripes. So I'm actually wearing a pair of those now. I don't like to pay too much for socks, but I have a couple of Fort Belvedere socks, which are ridiculously priced now. I think I paid $40 for these. I think they're up to $55 now. These are kind of a nice charcoal with orange and kind of classic clock pattern. Some of my favorites, but a big pain because I don't like to put them in the dryer, so they take a long time to wash. Before I wrap up the socks, maybe I should just show you the suspenders. I like to wear suspenders when I can. I'm not opposed to belts, but I collected a few pairs. Most of these are thrift store acquisitions. Too cheap to pay full money for suspenders. The white ones are fun. I like to wear those in the summer. Okay, moving on to shoes, and then I think we'll wrap it up. What are we at? 34 minutes. That's not too bad. So the shoe collection, I have a mix of Oxfords and loafers and a few other unusual things. I'll maybe start with this pair of boots, my only pair of boots that I bought. These are from Thursday boots that I bought at the very beginning of my journey. They're a little dirty from a recent trip, need to be washed. They're kind of they were billed as a brown, but I think they're really a burgundy color. So I'll wear these when it's raining. Nice rubber sole on the bottom. I thought about expanding the boot collection, but it's not really necessary where I live. Okay, I'll start with the more formal shoes, and then I'll move on to the less formal. These are your classic black toe Oxfords. These are from Charles Tyrwhitt, which I don't think is renowned for their shoes, but at the time I was buying a lot of their shirts, and I didn't really know very much about shoes, so I thought, oh, I'll buy a pair of shoes from them. They're reasonably priced, and I paid a little extra for the Made in England model, so I think they were made in Nottingham, which is the famous British city, and, well, I don't wear them that much because they're very formal, and I don't have a lot of formal occasions. So usually if I'm wearing suits, I go for these kind of, what do you call those, mahogany brown cap toe Oxfords, little broguing on the tip there. And these are from Allen Edmonds. Actually, most of my shoes are from Allen Edmonds. Prior to really getting into menswear, I was a devotee of the Florsheim brand, which is a kind of lower model American shoe brand, and I still have two of those pairs, but I like to kind of stick with one brand once I know the fit is good, and then it's nice because you can buy things on eBay and you don't have any surprises as far as fit goes. Here's another Allen Edmonds pair. I found these in a thrift store. They're pretty beat up, and I put some work into them, shine them up, and these are quite nice. Wingtip black. Moving down here. There's more casual shoes. These are Darby's, Allen Edmonds, in kind of a pebble grain. Put the red shoelaces in just for fun during Christmas. And then here's one of my Florsheim pairs. I think these are deerskin leather. One of my oldest pairs. I think actually this is my oldest pair. I bought these in 2017, and they've held up reasonably well. I had them resold once, and nice to wear with tweeds and stuff. Actually, these are nice to wear with tweeds as well. Most recent acquisition, a FootJoy model, Spectator, kind of a more conservative Spectator, not quite as loud. These are fun to wear in the fall winter. I have a summer Spectator shoe as well, but I don't know. These are just fun, I guess. Nice to wear with tweeds. Moving into the loafers, or not the loafers. I have one more pair of Darby's here. This is my other Florsheim pair, burgundy color Darby. Pretty comfortable. Actually, I've never had these resold. Hung on to them. Held up reasonably well. Okay, before we get to the loafers, we got the single monk strap, which, I don't know, most people wear double monk straps, and some people don't like them. I think these are kind of interesting. I kind of bought them to go with kind of a classic ensemble, which is the blazer with the gray trousers and the black single monks, which I think I read about that in Michael Anton's book, and I don't really wear them that much, but they're occasionally nice to wear with suits, that kind of thing. Okay, moving into the loafers. These are the pairs that I wear probably most often. You got your classic cordovan leather from Allen Edmonds. Bought these on eBay. Pay a fortune for these new. And the Weegian loafers, which I also bought on eBay. I think these are a newer model. They're a little bit, the leather doesn't seem as nice as it used to. They're a little bit on the plasticky side, but yeah, they're not really fancy shoes, so I don't worry too much about it. And then the last two pairs, this was a thrift store find, tassel loafer. The brand is called Metzlen. Fit reasonably well. They're actually lizard leather, kind of unusual. And then these were also a thrift store find. I don't wear these very often. Black loafers these are actually from Florsheim. And yeah, the AI thinks they're cordovan leather, but I don't know. I'm not really convinced. Okay, so that rounds out the shoe collection. And let's see, did I forget anything? I did forget something. I forgot my hat collection, which is somewhat small. It's kind of flat caps, tweed, Denagle tweed. This is a funny hat. It's called what's it called? Balmoral Bonnie, which I got when I was at Queen's University. And you got your gloves, a dark pair and a light pair, pretty simple. And a smattering of scarves. And that's pretty much it, I guess. Okay, well, I guess I'll do the old outfit rundown that all the YouTube menswear guys do, just out of pretend that I know what I'm doing here. So this outfit today, I've got the brown herringbone tweed jacket, of course. The middle layer, the V-neck, this is a J. Crew merino wool sweater that I got. Nice to wear with a tie. The tie is like a madder silk thing that I got from a thrift store. It's got some orange and greens in it and blues. Very nice. And the OCBD is from Spear and Mackay. Pocket squares, the aforementioned Fort Belvedere in burgundy and cream. The pants are cords, forest cords, and then I have those burgundy socks on that I'm not going to move the camera to show you. And that's it. That's my wardrobe for 2025 in the winter. I'd like to do another video like this maybe in the spring to introduce the spring clothes, the spring-summer wardrobe. And the plan is not to buy anything in 2026. So I'll look to revisit this video, I guess, next year and see how it shapes up. And hopefully my willpower is good enough by the grace of God that I can hold out and just enjoy what I have. Because I've put quite a lot of time and money into it. And time to enjoy rather than to always be chasing the next thing. This took me 3 years to accumulate. I think I started in fall 2022. I don't know exactly how much money I spent. I don't really want to know. But I'm reasonably cheap. I always try to go for deals and go for thrift stores or over new things if I can. And I have a great alterations tailor, this old Italian guy in town, who actually I need to go see later this afternoon and see if he's got my my blue navy suit finished. Okay, well, thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions, you can email me, tristanjrogers1@gmail.com, and I'm on X and other places. And yeah, look forward if you have any questions or need some tips or you want to ask a question about a specific garment. Just a few things that I like talking about more, and there's not that many people to talk about, so it'd be nice to hear from you. Okay, thanks very much. God bless you, and Merry Christmas.